How do you decide what area of personal development to focus on? I'm going to tell you my method right now. Okay guys, we're just about to get into my plan. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the videos, especially for this new series, personal development. Hopefully it's going to be really beneficial. I'm going to share with you my method of how I kind of organized and figured out who to follow, who to listen to, what areas I wanted to focus on, something that would make it manageable for my life. So my personal development plan is broken up into 4 parts. I have heart, mind, body, and spirit. I came to that in a really nerdy way. I was watching Buffy a couple of years ago, and I was watching the Primeval episode again. This is the one, really quick, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Buffy and her team are fighting a super big baddie that was genetically, like, robotically created. They call him Adam. He's basically their version of Frankenstein's monster, but they have to do this spell in order to make Buffy strong enough so that she can fight him. And so they do a spell where they connect her body, the hand they call it in the episode, and Xander's heart, Giles's mind, and Willow's spirit to make Buffy like a super slayer so that she can beat Adam. It's a really good episode. You should check it out. I'll leave a link below. Anyways, I was watching this while I had just been reading something personal development related. I have no idea why. For some reason, watching that episode that day, I was like, that's it. That covers like my basic bases. That's a great way to kind of formulate things. That's a lot of things because I'm a Gemini and I have to bounce around, but I can put things in those categories and I won't have just like a random list of things that I want to do. So I started with that structure. Find whatever structure works for you. I'm going to share a few at the end if I remember. I'm going to share a few at the end, different ideas that I've had for other ways you can do this if you don't want to go the crazy route, but you can use these 4 if you want to do it that way. And then comment below Buffy or Slayer if you have seen that episode, or if you're a Buffy fan. It's a good show. You should check it out. Highly recommend it. But let's get into those 4 things and kind of what they mean to me. Okay, so this is episode 1 of this series, so there's going to be several more. We're going to go through each one of these in individual so that I can talk about them more deeply, but I thought it'd be good to kind of start out with the tools that I've used based on these 4 categories to kind of give you practical application. Here's what I'm actually doing to try to follow all 4 of those things. So the first one is the Start Today journal. This is mind/body. It's a goal setting journal. It's Rachel Hollis. We're going to talk about her a lot in one of these episodes, but the Start Today journal is a daily gratitude and goal setting journal that you do every day to kind of set that intention of where do I want to be? What do I want to do? What are my dreams 10 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever that is. And so I do that every day, and I don't just write down my dreams every day. I do write the same ones down every day, but I sit and like imagine what those look like for real in my life. Like, what would it look like in a day if I did this? What do I need to do? What's the first step to go there? So I use that one on a daily basis as a mind/body because it's action. I have to I'm physically thinking about what I'm going to do in that vein. The second one is all Rachel Hollis. It's the 5 to Thrive. It's body centric. So that one is 5 things that you can do every day to set the intention of healthy living. I'll leave that list below. Basically, it's water, exercise, rest, self-time, like having time for yourself, personal development. It's all the things. It's the only reason I drink water now, and I did not drink water before. So it's a good one even if you just want to start there. I promise you it will make your brain function better. Something that is purely mind related or planning also thing. This is the my free range to be a little spastic, but it's kind of an intentional get it out of my head kind of thing. So I do bullet journaling. That one is part creative. I'm not creative in the artistic sense. I have no drawing abilities. Doodles are like a stretch for me, but I can do lines and trace things and color code stuff and kind of make it relatively pretty, so that I want to look at it and I want to plan out my days and I want to plan out the month and I want to write down my goals and my just these different themes in life that I want to aim for. I have things that I track. I really like kind of not just having the list that I write down every day, but also like having things that I think will help me get there that I can do in a month or in 6 months time, and I'll write those down and then color them in when I've completed them. So it's a little more tangible on top of my I'm aiming for these big things. The next one is Mind Heart, I would say. This is called the Post Institute. So it's a Facebook page. There's also some resources in parenting, training. They're actually doing one I think in the fall they're having a parenting course, like a conference, which may be full, I don't know, but I'll leave their links below because I love them. I found them as I was searching through different things for our son based on his life and his story and what we're dealing with him. It's really good for anyone who has kids with different just things that they struggle with, that may be behavioral, it may be genetic, it may be neurological, whatever it is. They're very good at giving you good resources and encouragement and good teachings. They usually do Facebook lives pretty regularly, so I'll leave them linked below. But it just encourages me, one, to think more about my kid as a whole person, not just what I'm dealing with in that season, and at the same time be encouraged that like what I'm trying to do with him and the way that we're trying to go about things is effective, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to parenting through hard things that our son specifically deals with, but just parenting in general. So I'll leave that below. The next one is the Wholehearted Living. This is a Brene Brown thing. She is a shame and vulnerability researcher, social worker. She's got a PhD and all kinds of stuff. She's got a Netflix special, you should check that out. But her 10 guideposts to wholehearted living are based on the research that she's done for shame and vulnerability. These are things that across the data have come out as things that a lot of people who live vulnerably and with the right boundaries and are trying to live a wholehearted life, things that they try to aim to and things that they aim away from. And so I'll leave that below. It's a great resource for kind of how I walk into life. I want to have a heart that is open but is also safe. I have different things in my own personality and things that I've learned about myself that mean I have to set my intention very specifically on what I do for myself and what I do for others. I have a tendency to overdo for others and underdo for myself, so I love her stuff for that specifically. And the last one is the Spirit one, which you could use for all of the above, but it's my specific tool I use every day besides my Bible and my devotional. This is something extra that we started doing in March. It's Celebrate Recovery. If you've heard about that, then you maybe know a little bit about it. It's not just for people of faith. It's not just for people with specific substance addictions. It's for everyone. If you're hesitant and you need a little bit more information, feel free to look them up, look at different videos. Jenny Allen actually talks about it in one of her books. They went through the step study with her church leadership several years ago, and that kind of gave me the extra nudge to, on top of my other life and how I found it personally, it just was like, okay, give this a shot. Like, you have seen the benefit of this in other people in your life and you should try it out. So we started going in March. We're fully invested and about to do our first step studies coming up, and I am amazed already at just the difference in our emotional feeling in handling life, I would say. We're in a slightly rough season just with jobs and searching for things, and so it's a little hazy here, but that structure and that consistency of people who just like are already open, like say the people in your small group or the people that you're really close to in your friend group or people at church that you know really well, you can talk to them about things you're struggling with in real time, in real life, and there's zero judgment. That's not always the case in a faith-based environment. It just depends on the people because we're all broken. But that one is set up and structured in a way that like flat out from the beginning says like, we're all broken, here's the things we do to keep it safe. And so when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about anything else from anyone else's perspective, just me. Obviously I'm saying me and my husband go, but he has given me permission to say that, so that's all good. But inside the environment, that's a closed environment, so anything that I say there doesn't go out, anything someone else says that I hear doesn't go out. It's a great option to have community and have accountability and like have steps and a structure to handle things in life better in a more loving Christian faith-based, like we're gonna take these steps. Obviously you don't have to be faith-based, that's part of the program, like it's straight up in the front, you don't have to do that. That's just where it's based in. But all the steps and all the process is, you can use it for whatever you want. So I would recommend it. I'm doing it for, I would say, what is considered like relational, emotional things. Just like life is hard and sometimes hard things happen, and so I'm finding that to be really beneficial, to have a place that I don't feel like I have to explain myself. I don't have to say how bad it is or how bad it's not. I can just come in and soak it in and like learn things. So it's amazing, highly recommend. I'm sure I over talked about it, but that's how I feel. Okay, so say this sounds all great. Maybe some of those things were interesting, but you don't want to do my weird, nerdy mind, heart, body, soul stuff. So a couple of other things that I think you could do if you're trying to narrow it down is pick a few people in areas that you like say you're working on health, or you're working on business, or you're working on relationship. Find someone in real life or on the internet who is crushing it. Like they are working hard, that is the thing they do all of the time, and just follow them. Do everything they do, go straight down the path. Obviously, you may not be able to do everything they do, but like pick people for each category that are crushing it in a way that you want to crush it, and taking everything they've got, all the free resources, all the books, just do all the things. That one is, I would say, like the steamroller option. If you want something that's a little more spread out, another option would be a generational option. So you can pick someone who is ahead of you in life, or ahead of you in an area you're working on. Pick someone who is like on the same level that you are, and someone younger. That way you get the wisdom, the like in the moment steps, and the fresh perspective all the way across the board, based on life in general or specific area, whichever one you think is a good one. The last one is by type. Obviously, this is something where you, at some point, my camera decided it was done filming. I've been talking for a while, obviously. Last thing I remember was I was talking about the different types. I talked about by whoever's crushing it. I talked about generation, so maybe it's by type. The last one that I did is just pick 3 categories that you want to work on, you know, business, personal health, fitness, and parenting, or marriage and education, and one other one. And then just focus, find 2 or 3 resources for each one, and just consume that. The thing that you have to be careful with is, I agree with Rachel, you can only do one thing at a time as far as like what you are aiming toward. Like I have to do all these things every day in life. So when it comes to my goals or what I'm trying to do better in, I can only focus on so many things. And so I added these 4 things, and consuming and taking and like taking notes and like really sitting with something in each of these areas. But right now I am picking one thing. I have one person I listen to about one topic, and I'm gonna do that until I feel like I have it, until it is a habit, until it becomes something I do without even thinking about it. And then I'll pivot to one of the other 3 and do that until I feel like I've got that down, and I'll go to the next thing. So I'm kind of running the gamut. And obviously I'm not going to perfect each thing that I do, but it gives me a way to hone in and be taking in other knowledge at the same time. So it just depends on how you want to do it. If you want to pick one thing and just like steamroll until that's like gold, that's up to you. But those are the different ways that I would say to do that. I'll be doing, I think that we're doing mind next week, or maybe heart. I'm not sure. I'll look at my notes and you'll see it next week. But don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and then I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. I forgot something, of course. So last thing, don't forget, big hi, just in case you're about to leave, don't leave yet. Follow the link below. The first link will be my Instagram account. I'm gonna spend all week posting and talking about and showing you these tools that I've done. I may even do an IGTV video. I'm gonna try to walk you through one of the things I do. But I thought that would be a good way to kind of give you an idea of like these tools in real life, how I actually use them. So follow that link. Don't forget to like the video, and then stick around next week. We'll be doing heart next probably. I will see you then. Bye guys.